Hey students, welcome to another Mr. Ness screencast. Today's aim is Watergate, and here are your objectives. Please pause the video, look these questions over, and get ready to copy some vocab terms and take some notes. Here is Lyndon Johnson. You learned earlier about his Great Society programs, and you learned about his decision to increase U.S. involvement in Vietnam. Johnson is one of the only presidents who chose not to run for a second term. In 1968, under pressure from the anti-war movement, he decided not to run again. And the president who came after Johnson was this man, Richard Nixon. He served from 1969 to 1974. Nixon won the election of 1968, and he won a second term in 1972. But early on in his second term, Nixon was forced to resign because of a scandal called Watergate. In the Watergate scandal, Nixon did illegal things, he lied about them, and then he got caught. Let's take a look at what happened. Nixon was a Republican, and in 1972, his campaign paid several men to break into the Democratic Party headquarters to try and obtain information that the Republicans could use against the Democrats. And the Democratic Party headquarters were in a building in Washington, D.C. called the Watergate Hotel. That's this building here. The day after the break-in, a security guard at the hotel discovered a piece of tape on the lock of the door that led to the Democratic headquarters. Nixon denied knowledge of the break-in. In a televised speech addressing the scandal in 1973, Nixon told Americans that he had only recently learned of the events and that he was, quote, appalled at this senseless illegal action. But not everyone believed him. Two reporters for the Washington Post newspaper, Bob Woodward and Carl Bernstein, continued to investigate the scandal. Their investigation revealed that Nixon knew about the break-in from the beginning and that he was involved in a cover-up. And the bombshell came when a witness revealed that there was a taping system installed in the White House Oval Office that had secretly recorded all conversations there. Nixon at first refused to provide the tapes to investigators, but the Supreme Court disagreed with him and ordered him to release the tapes. When he did, the tapes had an 18-minute gap of deleted recordings. Nixon then claimed that his secretary, in reviewing the tapes, had accidentally recorded over them, deleting the 18-minute section. And although no one knows for sure what was said during those 18 minutes, they suggest that Nixon was lying. So Congress then approved articles of impeachment. But before the proceedings could take place, Nixon went on national television and resigned. He was the first president in U.S. history to resign office. And he was replaced by his vice president, Gerald Ford. That's this man in the picture on the left. Gerald Ford then used his executive power as president to pardon Nixon, shielding him from any criminal prosecution. And Nixon was never charged for the crime, and he maintained his innocence until his death in 1994. All right, now it's time to review the objectives. If you don't know the answer to any of them, just rewind the video and look again. And I will see you in class. Bye, students.